Don't show up on time. Enjoy twice the amount of work. So I work overnights at a hotel. Mostly my job consists of sitting at the desk and scrolling Reddit until I start paperwork and breakfast. Important to note. My shift ends at 7 a.m. As I type this, it's 7:20 a.m. We have this one girl who works mornings. And I can't stand her. Without fail, every time she is my relief. I am at work typically 40 minutes to an hour past 7 a.m. She's lazy and just doesn't care about anyone else's time or the fact that I've been at work since 11 p.m. Her typical excuse is that she can't drop her kid off at school until 7:30. Which is totally understandable. Except for the fact that it's summer. And her kid goes to a program that has drop-off starting at 6:45 a.m. So where is she for that extra hour? No clue. But she always shows up with coffee and breakfast. Now normally when I make breakfast, I'm very organized and clean. I wash dishes as I go. Wipe up any mess I make. Prep trays of extra breakfast to throw in the oven as needed. I try to make life as easy as possible for the next shift. But this girl. Oh no. Sweetie. You can guarantee that that kitchen looks like a tornado blew through it. I'm using a new spoon every time. Leaving messes where they fall. And you can bet your ass I'm not soaking those nasty egg pans. You want to make me late going home? Enjoy spending most of your shift scraping dried gravy and pancake batter off every surface in that kitchen. And don't forget to make a new batch of everything because ain't no way in hell I'm even trying up biscuits for you. TL Doctor coworker shows up 40 minutes late. Gets to spend most of her shift cleaning up the breakfast mess. And by the way, it's now 7:30 a.m. No sign of her. Personally, I would let my boss know that she has not yet arrived and that I have an appointment at 7:30. Washing my dog, for example, and leave. Make it the boss's problem. He hired he can fire her. Particularly since it seems to be a regular occurrence. 1. Why aren't you talking to your boss? 2. Are you even sure she's the one cleaning it up? I need an update on this coworker. When did she finally show up for you to be able to leave? I work the 7 to 3 shift at my hotel and thankfully we have a breakfast lady. I have to make cookies and drinks for second shift though. I make sure to clean up after myself too. I do have a coworker who shows up at least 5 minutes late every day though. And he's supposed to be the best and know everything. Lol. Make this your boss supervisor's issue. It doesn't have to be real. But now you have yoga that starts at 8 every morning and it's a bit of a drive, so you have to leave by 7:05 at the latest. Okay, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm really strict on work. Once it's time for me to go, I'm going or finishing what I had started and then going. I don't wait for my relief. BC, that's the manager's problem. I mean, the entire point of a schedule is to know what you are working. If I were you, I would just clock out at my scheduled time and let the manager deal with. I mean, IDK where you live. But hotel job, especially overnight ones, are easy to come by, so even if they fire you, they can fuck off. So many times I was threatened to be fired over such things and it never happened. I hope you at least get paid OT for this. Why don't you just inform your boss that this employee is always late? That way maybe the problem will actually get taken care of. Are you paid hourly and do you punch a clock? If yes to both, make sure to rack up as much overtime as possible. That will bring down head office wrath more than anything else if the boss doesn't care. And you're getting a bit more lay for the inconvenience. I worked graveyard shift on an hotel too. Up till 7 a.m. The guy from morning shift had the same problem. Until I said to the owner of the hotel, if the dude isn't here by 7 a.m., I'm still going home. Owner understood what I meant since I had complained a lot about the guy being late and knew everything. Just didn't want to take part because it's the manager job to take care of it. You bet the guy never arrived late again. If she's consistently 45 minutes late, are you getting compensated overtime for the extra work? If that's 45 minutes, say, 3 times a week for a month, that's 6 extra hours of work each month. I'd tell the boss that if they wanted me to consistently stay extra because another employee was consistently late, I'd be putting in for an hour of overtime each occurrence. If they don't want to pay overtime, tell the other person to show up and do their job. I used to work overnights at hotels. I had this exact issue with a front desk supervisor. Also super fun when you work the 7 a.m. 3 shift. Someone calls out at night so you go in again at 11 p.m. Then your relief doesn't show up at 7 a.m. Never going back into that industry. Make sure the boss knows as well as mark yourself down for overtime. Are you getting paid for the extra time you're there? If you are, I would demand overtime. The time thing reminds me so much of the time I worked night shifts at a gas station. My shift was supposed to be over at 7. But my boss would come in and shoot the shit with her friends while she did the end shift paperwork, which I could have done myself if she would have trained me. As a result, the sun was always high in the sky by the time I got home and I could never sleep. I left that job when my old manager called and begged me to be her AM at our old bookstore. I never looked back. But she always shows up with coffee and breakfast. She is late and has the audacity, the gall, the gumption to stop for breakfast. When I was a night auditor, I had a FDA that was chronically late. Up to an hour late. Every day. I was in undergrad at the time and had classes at 8 a.m. that I had to get to. I told my boss after missing my second class that unless our hotel was going to pay me in full for the tuition plus books for that class, the next time she was late I was leaving at 7:00. Whether she was there or not, she was late the very next day. I think she finally got there at 9. But I can't remember, because I left at 7 and was in class at 8. And she was never late for work again until I left 2 years later. Cooking up vengeance can get messy. As long as you and the boss let it happen, she'll keep doing it. Why not simply leave at 7? Just ask the boss. Starting tomorrow, should I leave on time or claim OT? Then stick to it. 0 second chances or they'll play you like a cheap guitar. You're getting paid for overtime, right? Put it on the boss. At 7 a.m., I'd be on the phone. If you can't go to work until you drop your child off at 7:30, then you shouldn't accept a job that starts at 7:00. Are you paid the extra time? If not, and your boss isn't addressing the issue, I'd raise it with the local employment board. She's not showing up, is she woman facepalming? I have the same problem. Except it's both of my bosses extremely late so I can leave. Never was an agreement when I was hired. The excuse every time is that they're tired. Or they had to get coffee. Never fucking fails. I love this. Oops, sorry, didn't get a chance to clean the kitchen every single shift.